Sting your opponent with the air-powered Mad Hornet. I pump at 20, it fires 6. Now I'm swarming, buzzing my targets. I'm not just getting even, I'm getting mad.
You mad, bro? Welcome back to Fuzzy Walrus Industries. I'm Walcom, and today it's time for Tag Back, the show where we take a look at blasters from the past to see exactly what they can offer us today in the present. And this time, we're gonna get a little mad with a NERF Max Force Mad Hornet. Why is it mad? I have no idea. Why is it a Hornet? Because 90s, man.
I'm getting mad.
The Mad Hornet was released in space year 1997, a very good year for Kenner, the creators of this blaster, and of course basically everyone, because lots of cool things came out in 1997. Seriously. Very, very good year. And this is a very good blaster. Now, it's a little bit different than what you might expect, because, well, it's made of the Max Force line, and there's a blaster there for pretty much everybody, as long as you like it based off some weird animal, and the Mad Hornet is obviously supposed to be based off, like, the Hornet, or a Hornet. This is supposed to be the head of the Hornet, and this is supposed to be the back of the Hornet, and that's the Mad Hornet. No wings, no nothing, barely any paint on the blaster, a foregrip that is way too small and useless, I don't even know why it's there, but it's a nice little compact revolving pistol, and yes, it is air-powered, which you would think that you could just, you know, pump this thing up and fill it full of air and then shoot one dart ridiculously hard. You'd be a little wrong, because this is an air blaster with a large air tank, but it's designed to shoot multiple darts, but one per trigger pull. So you can get about 9 darts out of one full pumpage, which takes like 20 pumps, but it's semi-automatic, so once you have this thing pumped up, you just put it in a holster or something, and when you want to, you just pull it out, rapid fire the trigger, and rapid fire some darts, which is very, very unique. Not a lot of blasters do that, and that alone makes this blaster somewhat important to pay attention to. That's not something that you can normally just get. A one-handed kind of blaster is not all that common. There are blasters that do it, and arguably there are blasters that do it better than this one, but this is still a blaster that a lot of you are going to want to pay attention to specifically for that feature. I haven't seen a whole lot of mods on this one, probably because it's old and, you know, therefore kind of rare, and this one is in immaculate shape. In fact, it came with a box and all the materials and darts, everything, and it was sent to me by Soundboard. The guy's a wizard at eBay, I guess. It just showed up on my P.O. box, I wasn't even expecting it, and this is a blaster I've wanted for a very long time. In fact, I've almost shot a video on this in the past, with special thanks to Commander of Cobra, but it just didn't happen, and we were waiting for the next time he showed up on the War Wars, and he's been kind of busy, so I have this one now, and this one is in immaculate shape. In fact, the box even came with all of its original paperwork, which you're going to take a look at in a different video, because it's really interesting stuff. But the Mad Hornet itself has stickers on the top here, which I just kind of bent one a little bit, just ignore that. It's got stickers on each side, and it says Mad Hornet in yellow paint on both sides of the blaster, and that's pretty much it, besides its neon green head and orange barrel and trigger. And yes, you can pump this thing up and semi-automatic spray darts out of it, which is really freaking cool. If you want this thing to hit a little bit harder, because obviously this was an old blaster, it's kind of meant to shoot terribly by nature because it's a toy for kids, you're gonna have to do a bit of work to it, mostly re-barreling this thing, because there's air release holes and everything meant to limit how much air pressure actually comes out of each barrel, which is a bit sad, but how well could it actually perform? It's very much usable, and the darts are a size that they will work with standard NERF darts that we use today. There are no air restrictors or anything in this, but it's not great. I think that a stock Snapfire 8 on like the fast setting will outperform this thing and be a little bit more compact, although arguably less holsterable. But that's its direct competition. Let's see exactly what this thing does. Alright, make sure this thing is filled all the way up. All the darts are pressed back as far as they can go. Of course, this holds 6 darts. And we're gonna start off with a couple of slow trigger pulls. I don't know how much it actually matters, but you know, that's not half bad. I am shooting AccuFakes, which are maybe not the optimal dart for this, but that's a pretty decent distance. Now we're gonna do it with 3 quick trigger pulls to see if that affects the range at all. In fact, I'm gonna pump this thing back up just to make sure we're getting consistent air pressure. And they went the exact same range, and that is not a bad range whatsoever for something like this. But again, rebarreling this blaster is gonna get you a lot more range because there are air release holes in the back of this thing. It kinda sucks like that, but we work with what we can deal with.
I pump at 20, it fires 6.
The Mad Hornet is just one of those really interesting, bizarre blasters. There aren't a whole lot of blasters that do what the Mad Hornet does, and what it does pretty effectively. It's not gonna destroy worlds or anything like that, but for like a sidearm or something like that, and you just pump it up and forget about it until you need it, you drop, fire off a couple of shots and put it back, pump it back up. It's not a primary by any means, but it's a really fun and unique blaster that fills a role even today. So the Mad Hornet does get some pretty high remarks from me. If you do want to make it stronger, you can of course plug a pump, and you can also rebarrel it to make it slightly more effective when shooting darts. This thing is a beast when shooting half-length darts, by the way. That just comes with air blasters. They're usually very good at shooting those anyway, but this one, especially since they're slightly lighter, but they're more aerodynamic, so they travel much farther, can turn this thing into a pretty lethal blaster on the field. I'm excited to have one. I want to thank Soundboard again for sending this beautiful example to me. I just don't want to ruin it, so I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet, but let me know what you think about the Mad Hornet down in that comment section below. If you have any crazy ideas, I'd love to hear them, because this is a pretty crazy blaster in and of itself. In fact, the internals are really streamlined inside. Once you get rid of this weird Hornet looking shell, it basically deserves to be the underbarrel of some other blaster, so that might have to happen at some point. Let me know what you think. I'm Walcom S7, thank you very much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one.
You gotta up.